Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Bruce Whitehead, who will be fighting against Rusty Turley on Fury FC 92. Hello, Bruce. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Bruce, you will be fighting very soon. Your opponent is 2-1 fighter. So, if you can tell me, how do you feel after this bout, and what do you think about the opponent that you have?
Um, Man, he fought one of my opponents. I know he's pretty tough. He has a good right hand. It's pretty hard, so it should be a good little scrap. I'm excited for it. Um, yeah, I don't really do too much research on my opponents. I just kind of train and focus on myself and push myself as hard as possible. So, yeah.
And he actually got some I believe break between his last fight and this one, so he may be a little bit rusty, let's say.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it for sure. But yeah, I just kind of focused on me and my growth, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be a fight. You go in there and throw some bombs and see what happens.
And watching your fights in Fury, you definitely growed a lot from the your previous bouts up to your last one. And your last one actually was your first ever defeat against a very good fighter in Davon Dixon. And if you can tell me, how do you feel after this bout, after your first pro loss?
I think this camp, it was like a reality check in a way. This camp kind of put me back to where I used to be, of like reasons why I fought, and it was like to learn how to control my emotions in like such a high stressful scenario like fighting, right? And I think I got so infatuated with violence and just wanting to throw bombs and beat people up and sleep people that it's not always the best thing, right? It kind of I lost control of my emotions my last fight, and it got the best of me, and it led to my defeat. Which you live and you learn. You kind of go back to the drawing boards, and so this one I kind of reestablished myself and kind of got back to that learning to control my emotions. So I'm excited to go out there and prove to myself that I can do it in such a high stressful scenario, right? So
But overall, you have some good moments in the fight, and of course,
for
he's
sure.
a very good fighter. So it's like I think that even there were a lot of good things that you did in this fight. So it's not that you were dominated, but it was for the time it lasted. It was a close fight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely felt like I was winning the fight. Dude was super tough and took some big shots. I definitely felt like I was getting the upper hand. I was winning every second of the fight, but the last like 10 seconds where I got choked. But yeah, it happens. I really think it is like if I would have stayed a little bit more calm and picked my shots, then I think it would have been a different night. But I was swinging to take his head off, and dude's tough, can take a shot. So.
And you started your career with two decision wins, and after this you had two very quick submissions. So if you can tell me, how does it feel to get such a quick finishes, especially submissions like that?
Man, it's an awesome thing, but it's also a dangerous thing, right? Because you finish people so quickly, you just think you're gonna like, man, I finished two people super quick. I think I'm just gonna finish everybody super quick, and then you kind of you lose your comfort. You got to find comfort in there in like such an uncomfortable scenario, and you finish people in 20 seconds, then it's hard to get comfortable in there. You're just knocking everybody out or sleeping people, so or choking people. So I mean, it's definitely like a super cool feeling, but it kind of hurts you in ways, I guess, or can hurt you in ways.
But definitely it is a good thing that you know that you will not be hit no more after the 20 or 30 seconds.
Yeah, man, I already get hit enough in training. I got CT coming my way for sure, but trying to keep it less in the fights, I guess.
And right now you probably are you just ended probably your fight camp. And of course there are the tough days in the gym that you are like beaten up or don't want to go to the gym. And what do you do with this kind of days?
So I'm a firefighter as my like full time job. So the way my schedule kind of works is we work 2 days on, and then I get 4 days off. So whenever I'm on my 2 days on, I try to, while I'm working, if we like are running calls, obviously I'm there, but I try to do as much recovery and like mobility stretching and ice baths while we're there. And then whenever I get off work, then I get 4 days to absolutely kill myself. So I'm, you know, train 3, 4 times a day. I'm kind of living in the gym, and yeah, it's on repeat, just kind of doing that.
So maybe after the Stipe will retire, you will be the first fireman of MMA.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I love being a firefighter. It's an amazing job. You get the satisfaction of helping people and you get to run crazy calls and do a lot of super cool things, but it also fits very, very well with the lifestyle of MMA and being active and being able to chase your dreams while still maintaining a career and, you know, being able to be a productive member of society.
And definitely it is a very responsible job, and because of it probably the stress that you have in fights is nothing comparing to the tough situation in your like normal job.
Yeah, for sure. I actually had one of my coaches tell me that a long time ago, saying he actually said that becoming a firefighter will help you deal with the stresses of MMA because whenever you run into MMA, it's really controlled, right? Whenever you run into a burning building, it's not controlled in any way whatsoever. So if you can learn to control your emotions and the stresses of running into a burning building or cutting somebody out of a car, then you can learn to control your emotions and the stresses of going in there and just fighting some people.
Yes, definitely it is a like a very very big benefit. And when did you start your MMA journey, and when did you thought about becoming like pro MMA fighter?
Uh, Man, I started training whenever I was like 11. So I started whenever I was really young. I was kind of an aggressive kid with two older brothers and like fighting, like violence. And so my parents threw me in MMA whenever I was a kid and I started training and I wanted to be a fighter since I was a kid, training all the way through. And then I fought my first fight whenever I was 17. And then I went to college and I wrestled, right? And I told myself, oh, I don't want to wrestle. I just want to fight. Like this college stuff is stupid. And then so I dropped out after my first year. And then I fought 3 times or 4 times, something like that. And then I missed wrestling, went back to college, graduated, ended up wrestling the rest of my years. And then whenever I graduated, I got my fire cert, became a fireman, and then turned pro.
So it was probably the good decision to be back to wrestling because this is such a great tool for MMA.
For sure. Wrestling, I think it teaches you a bunch whenever it comes to skill, but also teaches you a bunch as it comes to like a person of being like it teaches you the discipline, it teaches you the hard work, the diet, like the intangible things that you can't really see are the things that I think will make wrestlers very, very successful in the sport.
Yes, definitely the toughest people in
Yeah, for
MMA.
sure. For sure.
And sometimes the fighters that came from wrestling told me that the wrestling was a much tougher thing than MMA training. So
Yeah. I can, I can train 3 or 4 times a day whenever it comes to MMA and drill a whole bunch. And I'm here to tell you, whenever I was wrestling in college, I could not do that. I wrestled, we did 2 a days and it was killer. So,
and right now, what is the main gym that right now you are training in?
I train at War Training Center in Tomball, and my head coaches are uh, Adam Copley and Jeremy Mahon. And I train Muay Thai at Sammy's Muay Thai in Spring. He's the man.
And for this camp, who was your like regular sparring partner, training partner?
Uh, my main sparring partner is my girlfriend Mia Graw. And then I got a whole bunch, a whole bunch of other people like Anthony Ivy. He's like a brother to me. He's on a huge win streak. He's going to be in the UFC. He's going to kill it. He's one of my main training partners. Trevin Giles, Zachary Reese. A whole bunch. Kyle Todrank, James Ford. A whole bunch of guys that are like on the up and coming. War is like the biggest up and coming gym, in my opinion, in the United States, and we have so many prospects and so many people like on the up and coming. I'm very, very fortunate to be where I am and training where I am.
Yes, you mentioned actually a few very good names because Zachary just won a fight in the UFC.
Right.
It was quick, like he always does.
Yeah. Actually, me, him, and Kyle Todrank, who's an up and coming prospect, we call ourselves the Trailer Park Triplets. So it's another win for the Trailer Park Triplets.
Yes, and Kyle is actually another guy that I like, that I watched his fight and consider him as the great prospect. So you might be right that this is the best gym for a younger fighter.
Yeah. I really think that we're on the up and coming, and we have something great. Adam Copley, he's I would do a lot of work with him, and that dude's a genius. That he can develop fighters in ways and sees fighting in ways that I've and breaks down technique just in ways that I've never seen. He's actually an amazing coach, and I love working with him. And then Jeremy's like a general; like he gets you mentally ready. He gets you ready for war. So it's like the perfect split of technical and vicious.
And when you are thinking about your career in next few years, do you consider that the UFC as the like main goal to go the promotion to go to?
Yeah, man. I think that everybody who fights really wants to be in the UFC, but I kind of like don't really like. I set goals for myself, but also like I like really just focus on like being the best me, and then the goals will happen. So I kind of just focus on camp by camp, going through it and being like, or just telling myself like I'm gonna push myself as hard as possible and be the best Bruce, that the goose that can go in there and fight, and then whatever goals I have, they'll happen sooner or later. So yeah, the ultimate goal is to be in the UFC, but I'm just gonna keep focusing on me and having the ride, enjoying the ride in the moment.
I think that overall you are in the very good place because you are 4-0, 4-1 as the lightweight in Fury, and it's of course one of the biggest regional promotion. And like seeing your progress, I think that it's like it will like even it will be seen even more. So I think that in the end you will get to the UFC even with the last loss. It's happening sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely think that it is a good possibility, but I'm definitely pushing for it. And hopefully that last loss, I'll be able to run it back. That dude's Devin's a super cool guy. I like him. He's tough, but I'd love to run that one back with him and maybe in the UFC one day get that one back.
And who is your like favorite fighter to watch as far as the MMA?
Man, I really like Justin Gaethje personally. Like I think me and him kind of mimic each other in ways. We go out there, some white boys who throw bombs.
So probably you were a little bit sad after his last fight.
Yeah, I was, but I also am. My girlfriend's a huge Max Holloway fan, and I'm kind of a Max Holloway fan too. So I wasn't too sad, but I was a little sad.
Yes, he definitely got this style that he's a human highlight. it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's you don't have to say nothing more.
yeah, exactly.
And watching your fights, it seems that you are a very good like grappler, that you are looking for submissions. And do you like competing in like any grappling or BJJ competition, gi or no gi?
No, I don't. I just, actually, funny enough, like I've submitted most of like some people that I fought, but I actually just want to knock people out. I just end up submitting them, just I guess out of instinct or whatever in the moment. But I'm trying to like keep it on the feet. I want to sleep people. That's what the ultimate goal is.
Donald Cerrone got this like many years ago, this kind of moment that he all his fights he ended by submissions. Even that he was a absolutely great striker, he's submitting everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be like this, that you will be looking for knockouts and you will have only submissions.
Yeah, that's the way it has worked out so far. But I'm hoping to get some freaking finishes on my feet. That's what I want to do.
But with the one submission that you got, you hurt your opponent on the feet. So it's like the knockdown.
Yeah, but both of them actually, I like hurt them on the feet and dropped them, and then end up submitting them. So, uh, yeah, like one of them I got freaking. Well, I fought Robinson, and he hit me with a right hand that set me like made me sit down for a second, and I ended up getting lucky and bombing one back and catching them. So, but that was a wild fight. As Zach Reese would say, going all white trash and fighting some people.
And when you're thinking about MMA and also your life, if you were not a MMA fighter, who would you think would you be?
Like, what would I do?
Yes. Would you still plan to be a full-time firefighter? Was it like the let's say a dream job for you?
Man, I would probably be a fireman and just like probably probably just be like a cowboy, honestly, and like run cattle and try to do some rodeo stuff. I don't know. I'd definitely be a fireman for sure. I love my job, but I'd probably be like a blue collar worker and just work and make money, enjoy life.
And if you have a like opportunity to go outside of US to other country to other continent to live there for a few years, what country would you like to choose to live in?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a good question. Weird enough is I was actually a huge or I am a huge Gunnar Nelson fan, so I think it would be super cool to go to Iceland and like be a part of the Viking culture and like train at that gym there. What's it, Mjolnir? I think that would be super cool to go there and train and stay there for a couple of years. That's been like a goal of mine, or maybe like Thailand or something cool. But I feel like everybody goes to Thailand, right?
Yes, it's actually like the Thailand is one of the main goals, like one thing for the culture, and the second one, of course, for the great gyms that they have. So the
Yeah,
Iceland
exactly.
is not the standard one.
Yeah. So I think yeah, something like Iceland would be super cool for sure.
And if you can share one dream that you have right now, but which is not like connected with fighting, do you have a like one goal that you are focused on right now?
My family owns like a ranch out in New Waverly, and my dad. I look up to my dad a whole bunch, right? Like he's like one of my best friends, and if I could be half the man he is, then I'd live a great life, in my opinion, right? So he works, 30 plus years in an auto parts store in order to afford land and take care of our family and do all that. And I admire him a whole bunch. So I think my goal right now is to, make enough money or support myself with firefighting, me and my girlfriend and our dogs, and, go somewhere and be able to afford some land one day, afford 5, 6 acres where we can go have some chickens, some cows, just live off grid and kind of enjoy our life together. That's what the ultimate goal is, honestly.
Okay, Bruce. So many thanks for the conversation.
For
I
sure.
hope that you will get a knockout this time,
I appreciate you. I
and
appreciate
we
you,
can
man.
see you in the Fury FC more often, and then you will get a chance to fight for the UFC.
For sure. Oh, maybe if I get in the UFC, then I'll be your first interview whenever I'm in the UFC. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
All right, man.